All right, cool. So I get the honor of speaking about outbound sales a little while after Stelly, which is fine. That's fine. All right, so I'm Jordan Gall. I run CartHook.com with my good buddy Ben Fisher over there. And what we do is if you go to one of our customers' e-commerce stores and you start checking out, but for some reason or whatever excuse you can come up with not to finish buying, we hunt you down with an email campaign until you come back and buy like you should have in the first place. That's our software biz, and I also run Bootstrap Web with Brian, who was just here a minute ago. So here's what I'm talking about today. The whole thing with outbound sales, inbound, that's what all the cool kids do. And that's what's scalable, and that's what a lot of companies we admire do. And I want to do it too. It just takes a while. So while I want to get there, I made the decision that outbound was the right move for us first, and I'm going to attempt to convince you in this talk that it might be a good option for you. And I'll basically just show you how we do it. Maybe you can steal as much of that as possible and mold it for your own situation. All right, so in this nicely optimized title that you voted for, which I appreciate, thank you, there are two important words. The first is aggressively, and the second word is efficient. So aggressive because, I don't know about you, I'm impatient. I'm not as far along as I would like to be. I imagine most people here are in the same boat where everything takes longer than you want. So I think being aggressive up front in the beginning stages is really important to move things as soon as possible. At the same time, we want to be aggressive, but we have to be efficient because we'll run out of money. We're not burning other people's money. If we're self-funded, you can be aggressive, but you can't be stupid. Well, you can, you just run out of money. And I put the little AKO desk because that's what efficiency essentially means to people in our situation. All right, so if I'm going to try to sell you on something, I should lead with the benefits, right? The first big benefit of doing outbound sales is the obvious one. More money sooner. The truth is what the real benefit of doing sales sooner and getting revenue sooner is that it takes away all of your excuses, all the just one more feature and then we'll be ready to do X. Just one more integration, then we'll be really ready to, for prime time. This just cuts away all of that because regardless of whatever skill and magic we all possess in this room, it's all bullshit until you ask a stranger for money. And this makes you do that as soon as possible. All of us can call somebody on the phone today and ask them for money for our product. So that forces you to focus on the right things. The second and related benefit is feedback. It's as important as sales in the beginning because real people will tell you when you ask them for their credit card and their business, they will tell you what's wrong with your product, what's good about it, what they like, what they don't like, what they want to see. So you get feedback from real people instead of reading blog posts and saying, oh, that's cool how they're doing it, maybe we should do it like that. The third benefit, I don't have a term for it, I call it raw material. It's just a lot of stuff happens when you email 50 people a day and talk to them on the phone and do that for weeks. It just, stuff happens. So an example is we'll talk to someone about the software and they'll be interested in it, but they're not the decision maker. So what they tell us is, I need to go to the Wednesday morning marketing meeting with my boss and convince everyone there that we should use CartHook. So we quickly learn, okay, we want CartHook represented in that meeting properly. So we create a nice little 3-page PDF, screenshots, pricing, features, everything that we want them to know. Instead of putting all the pressure on the non-decision maker that is interested, we empower them with a little PDF that they print out, they give in the meeting. Something like that we just wouldn't know unless we spoke to people constantly and we saw this. And then all of a sudden, you take the raw material and you create assets. Now that's an asset that we send out every time we talk to a non-decision maker. We send it and say, hey, you can print this out. Next time you have a meeting, bring this with you, and that works. And so there are a lot of things like that. Even the emails we send manually, now we have a library of emails, so when we automate, we'll know what emails to send when based on whatever events. So we haven't automated yet, but the raw material of dealing with all these people helps us build up these assets. All right, I'll stop blathering on. I'll show you what we actually do. So we do a 4-stage process. Research, that's where we find contact information. Prospecting, that's where we actually reach out to people. For some reason, that shrunk. I'm sorry, but I'll just say the words on it. So prospecting is where we actually reach out to people. The demo, yes, we do the dreaded demo. Sorry, I don't like it either, but it works, so we do it. And then the final step is the actual trial. So obviously, trial to paid is like the most important thing, but this is the top of the funnel. I'm not really equipped to talk about that, pretend like I'm an expert in that, and that goes beyond 12 minutes anyway. So that's our process. So let's get into the first one, research. Relatively straightforward. You need contact info. So what we did, we integrate with e-commerce platforms. So we go to Built With, which shows you lists of websites that use specific technologies. Built With is $500 a month. So being a proud bootstrapper, I sign up, pay $500, download 250,000 records, and promptly cancel. No shame in that, it's perfectly rational. So now we have hundreds of thousands of not emails yet, domains. We send it over to a researcher to find the contact info. We get them to put it into a Google Doc. Easy. Next step, the actual fun part, the prospecting. So we do a combination of emails and calls. Emails work, but for us, we actually close the demo, the appointment, on the phone. So email gives us something to say. Oh yeah, you got my email from yesterday, but it all gets closed on the phone. So that's how we do it. And we use a product called Cadence by SalesLoft that helps us run a 6x7, so 6 touches over 7 days. So it annoys them to giving us an answer one way or another. So we do call, email, call, email, call, email, and then we try to push them toward the demo. And we add about 50 new prospects a day to it. And then the goal, similar to what Joanna said, how each element in your site should really just do one job, here it's the same thing. The person doing prospecting, the only goal they have is to get a demo. They're not thinking about a trial, they're not thinking about a customer, nothing. They just have one goal in mind. So anything that comes up, what's the pricing like? That's a great question to talk about on the demo on Thursday. How does that sound? Basically, any question that comes up is a great question to ask on the demo. How does Thursday at 9 o'clock sound? All right, the demo. There's a lot of stuff out there about demos. The way we do it, the way we focus on value, we just use base, emotion, and greed, and it helps the prospector. So what I mean by that is we don't ever say, do you want to see a demo of my product? What we say is, you are a Magento store. We have a Magento store customer. They made $3,000 last month using our software. Would you like to see how they did it? And then a whole demo isn't check out our product. It's let me show you how they made $3,000. And in that process, we're showing them the software and how it works and integrates. And so they're visualizing, I want to make money like this other guy, and as opposed to, here's my amazing software that has no features right now anyway. And from the demo, their goal is to trial. So the trial period, that is the first time that someone at CartHook does anything with this process. 1, 2, and 3 are all outsourced, and the team is only taxed. We only do work after a demo. So we're only dealing with the absolute best prospects, and our job is to get them from demo to trial. What we really do is we try to sign up for a free trial while in a demo. So at the end of the demo, we say, are you ready to sign up? I can sign you up right now, and that's our goal. But if someone doesn't sign up, then we do whatever we can, manual and automated, to get them over to a trial, and then from there, it's actually try to convert, and that's a whole other thing. So what does it actually look like? Back to efficiency. For research, we pay $3 an hour. This is all Odesk and all Philippines. Just hire people from the Philippines. They're the best. It's relatively straightforward. We pay $6 an hour for prospecting, and we pay $25 an hour for demo. It's 40 hours, and about 10 hours. And the results we get are like this. I put infinity for research. It's really, the researcher goes so far in front of everybody else, it may as well be infinite. So we're never going to catch up to the researcher. The prospector needs to get 10 demos. The person who does the demo needs to convert 50% of them into 5 trials. And then after that, we start to handle things internally. Let's do some maths. 120 bucks, 240, 250, right around $600 a week times 4 weeks. We spend about 2,400 bucks a month doing this. And if we can convert 50% of our 10 trials into customers, this is what the math ends up looking like. I forgot the most important line in there because I did this at 2 a.m. Sorry, Xander. We basically add about $1,000 in MRR for every $2,400 we spend. Not amazing, but depending on your situation, you could potentially do that forever and get really profitable. It depends on a lot of factors. Here, I'm just going to assume a $99 average revenue per user. That's kind of what we aim for. So if you look at that, there are a lot of benefits beyond just the money that you get, right? So what I call the game changer, number one, is about marketing. So we started this first. So instead of guessing what our market wants, what our pricing should be, what features they care about, what process they want to go through, we now know because we talk to people every day and we sign people up and we're adding customers. So now when we redo our marketing site, we have the right data from the right people. We know what to say. So it helps go one direction in marketing, and then it also goes the other direction. So next week, let's say I run Facebook ads and I want to do a webinar. 50 people show up to the webinar, 10 of them turn into free trials. More likely, 10 of them are interested in doing a demo. Now we have a system built out. There's nothing new that needs to happen, no additional work. We already have a system in place for doing demos and converting them into trials and moving forward. So it goes both ways on the integration with marketing. The second game changer is annual billing. I'm sure Jason Cohen would be proud. If you can convert 20%, so 2 out of the 10, into annual prepaid $1,000 instead of $1,200 up front, sometime over the first 60 days, all of a sudden you're adding $2,000 up front to the $1,000 in MRR. All of a sudden you're profitable on this, and you have that kind of dream scenario of marketing that's funding itself every month that you can just keep spending more money on. It's an infinite marketing budget, I think the term would be. So that's how we do it. Obviously, there are other things you can do, higher conversion rates, higher average revenue per user, but this is kind of where we're starting. And it's done an amazing thing for our company in that everything's oriented to sales. Because we're dealing with real people every day, we're trying to get them to pay us money. So the whole company's direction and mindset is about selling and selling and selling, as opposed to what should we add, what is cool, new technologies should we use, and I think that's healthier. That's about it for me. I don't have a picture of my kids. I just have a picture of a loser turned into a billionaire, which is what I want to be, but it's for my kids, I swear. That's it.